Hi there. You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. This is the way.
Hi there. It's your second favorite DP right here, okay? No, that's Deadpool, you silly little Hufflepuff. Anyways, I'm gonna need you to shut up that pretty little mouth of yours and pay attention because the show's about to start, alright? And, I don't know about you, but I know who's my vote for sexiest ex-soldier turned pop culture show host. Alright, enough foreplay. Let's get on with the show.
Broadcasting live from the basement of a Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Look who's back. Oh, shit. Look who's back. I'm already cursing the first couple seconds of the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, one and all. Today is November the 26th of 2024. This is episode 187 of Pop Culture Warrior. It's the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I'm CQ. If you're new here, welcome. Drop me a line. Say hi. Where you from? First time? Mine too. It feels like it. I'm your pop culture warrior. And of course, I can't do it alone. And you know, I felt bad because Mad Mike and Angry Elf had been holding down the fort for so long with my absence that I decided to give them the night off. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. You're off. Instead, I'm going to drag on to the screen the one, the only, Nemo, ladies and gentlemen. Hello there.
What is up?
What's good, buddy? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain. Life is good. Things are good. It's been hectic, man. It's been hectic the last couple of weeks.
It's been chaotic, yes.
Oh, man. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Man, there's so much to catch up on. So much to catch up on.
So much.
First off, I really, sincerely have to say big ups, big shout out to Mad Mike and Angry Elf for holding down the fort for damn near a month. Like, I was just going through this stuff and I'm like, oh my God, I think the last one I did was like the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's been a minute. So
I
had to remember.
And it's funny because on those nights where you weren't streaming, I was with you for most of those. So I know exactly where you were and what you were doing.
Yes, exactly.
Busy. Exactly. It's not like you were off.
Right. I wasn't twiddling my thumbs in the corner somewhere. Yeah. You know, Jesus, we've been at it. New York Comic Con. Then Halloween, the Venom, we got to see Venom as a screener. We saw the Wild Robot as a screener. We saw, was it Gladiator 2 as a screener? 2. Just so much, so much. I was at the White House just before Veterans Day. I was at the White House in Arlington National Cemetery. I mean, it has been non-stop. Absolutely nonstop. So I can honestly say I'm so tired. I'm so very tired.
I'm so tired, boss.
So tired, boss. It's been good. Can't complain. Yeah. Very excited, man. You know, I feel like we haven't gotten a chance to sit down and decompress about New York Comic Con, about the movies we've seen, about all these things. Very excited. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you for being here. Give us a shout out in the comments. Say, hey, how you doing? Let's see. Edward says, hello all. Hey, Keith, howdy, man. Mad Mike grew a beard. I think that's you, Nemo, man.
It's a
Right, beard.
glorious. It's a glorious beard.
Keith says, I'm lying that they quit. I ran them off. Oh, man. Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for joining us, man. As always, we appreciate it. We love y'all, man. Y'all the reason we do this. Later tonight, we have two special guests joining us. I don't want to say too much about it, but if you watched FTX last Friday,
Oh no, I lost your audio. Your audio dropped out. Your audio dropped out.
hello, hello.
There he is. He's back.
That's we. Maybe I bumped my mic. Sorry about that.
I don't know. Yeah, you did something.
What was the last thing you heard?
Right before you started whatever story you just did. Yeah.
You were. Did you hear me talk about Bluff 21?
You were just about to start talking about Bluff 21, and then
I
it was
must have
like,
hit the
I'd
mic.
love for you guys to hear about this great.
Yeah. Okay. Long story short, we played it on FTX, Bluff 21, or 21 Bluff. It's a card game. It's like if you took the blackjack that you know and love and mixed it with like Uno. So it's a little. It's really is blackjack with just some card gaming elements added to it. Power cards and things like that. I gotta stop
That's
messing with my technology while I'm live, but these are things. These are
Just
things.
click, 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 click.
So yeah, man. So we have them coming out. The creators of 21 Bluff are coming on tonight. Talk about the game and how it came to be, and for all those. I mean, it's truly an inspiring story. I know that not everybody out there is like, well, I'm gonna make a game. But when you really hear these guys' story and they tell you how, and I don't want to, take the words out their mouth, but they tell you how they had nothing to do with games. It's just something they did as a goof, and it kind of just snowballed into this thing. I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. It's awesome.
I mean, if anybody can relate, it's our team over at WTF Nation. We all said we wanted to do this kind of thing we're doing, and we made it happen. But none of us came from this kind of place, So
yeah,
I can relate to that.
Most of us, some of us have a little bit of background in productions and things like that.
I don't know what you're talking
about. One cool thing I had to share from New York Comic Con, just because it's awesome. Everybody, take a look at this official Funko CQ. Look at that. Got the black hat. I gotta get like a CQ logo printed for either the shirt or for the hat.
I like it because the head is comic accurate.
it's the lore accurate. Yes.
Yeah, it's just perfect.
Absolutely. And he has a headset and a game controller is what he's holding. So very, very on brand for me. So that's cool. I just wanted to share that because it's something awesome.
I feel like if Mad Mike was here, he'd make a Wiener reference or something. So sure. I'm just gonna ambiguous Wiener reference.
Yeah, insert generic Wiener reference. Got it. Also, I wanted to put out that we've talked about this before. Why did all my things move? Stop moving. It's
that kind of night, man.
It's that like the screens are moving, the windows are moving. Come on, guys, stay where you're supposed to be.
Ghost.
I got the gremlins in the machine. Okay.
Yep.
So I wanted to say that if you can, I don't know if you can see how much you can see in the background, but there's a giant pile over there, and then there's another pile over there. I am putting just all the things that I'm giving away this coming month. The month of December is the month to remember. It's going to be giveaway palooza. I need to get rid of all of it. Bags, autographed things, posters, toys. I mean, it's the get. I'm gonna do something I never do, which is I'm gonna pull camera out a little bit just so you can see. So let's see. How do I do?
You're gonna get to see a glimpse into the Bat Cave.
Yeah, there we go. There's a little bit, but there's just a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
over
As
there.
as a person who has been in the Bat lair, I will tell you that I want those things.
Yes.
So you
All the
want those
things.
things. He
All
has
the
some really
things.
cool shit.
Yeah. So there you go. That's just a small peek behind the curtain. Now let me go back to where I was. So many windows open. All right.
You zoom out, it's just nothing but Amazon boxes.
I mean, kinda.
I have a problem.
Yes, we have a problem here. But yeah, and it's Black Friday too, man. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what
gosh.
if there's any if you guys have like what's the Black Friday thing? What are you guys hunting for tonight, man? I want to know. I want to know. Tell
I
me.
want this Steam Deck to go on sale, man.
Wait, the Steam Deck, which one? The gaming one?
Yeah,
Is
well,
that the
that's
one
what
you
the
said?
Steam Deck. It's
Yeah,
the PC, handheld PC.
yeah,
They have like the Asus ROG. They have a bunch of different versions.
yeah.
But I'm just kind of a name brand whore like that, where I'm like, I want the Steam Deck specifically because it's from Steam. They have a really nice white model that they just came out with. It's super clean looking. It's an OLED screen. I'm tempted, but I'm kind of waiting for it to go on sale. It probably
Sure.
won't because it's so new, but it's nice.
But nah, buddy nice, buddy very nice,
Better nice. And
better nice.
when we're traveling to like San Diego Comic Con or Comic Cons like that, when
Sure,
we're all over the
or
country.
insert con here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
insert random across the country con that we'll just randomly show up to.
Sure, 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 sure.
It's nice to have when we're sitting in the hotel rooms and waiting for the next day, trying to rest. Most of the time we just sleep, but you know how it is.
It's yeah,
Yeah.
there are
I just want a travel thing with me. I have
things
my
and
Nintendo
stuff.
Switch and I absolutely love it. It's great. But yeah.
Right. So Tan says the Bamboo Labs 3D printer. You know, I keep saying I want to get into 3D printing, and
Yeah.
my significant other said she would murder me if I brought another thing into this house, if I
They're
started
expensive.
another hobby. They're not
They're
they're not as
pricey.
expensive anymore. Like
Maybe not, but
starter ones are, you know what I mean? Obviously, if you get the big mamma jamma laser
starter
multi
ones.
whatever, but like I've seen $200 $300 ones that to
Yeah.
start out with
Yeah.
simple constructs. But Timmy says, besides my dignity, a stream deck for sure. Yeah, stream deck. Yeah. So and that's why I was
Stream
when you
decks are
said
cool.
what'd you say, the stream
Stream
deck?
Deck.
Stream
Steam
deck.
Steam
Steam
Deck.
Deck. That's why, because I'm like,
I'm gonna get roasted online.
Elgato makes the Stream Deck, but I know
Yeah.
Steam Deck is a
Steam Deck.
whole different
Everybody knew what I
beast.
was going for.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
They knew.
yeah.
They knew.
Yes, and yes, it's a
Yeah.
very addicting hobby, man. Because you see, like, I wouldn't need to buy all these things in the background if I had my own 3D printer that I could just
True. You can just kind of
print.
make your own thing.
Yeah, I could make all my own stuff. Like our good friend Frankly Built makes some truly phenomenal stuff. So, hopefully one day if I could sneak it past the wife.
Dude, they're like the good ones, man. They're big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
My
yeah,
wife
yeah.
has a laser engraver, and that thing is massive. I mean, it's sturdy first of all, but you could do so much cool shit with it.
Hmm.
It's definitely worth it if you want to like sell things.
Sure.
If you're just doing it for hobby, you're gonna put a lot of money into it if you're
Hmm.
just doing it for a hobby. But
Yeah.
if you get a return on investment, man,
Dude, it's like this show. You know how if I were keeping dollars and cents of how much I've put
oof,
into this show, you know how in the
oof,
negative I am. We won't
so
talk about
negative.
it. We won't talk about it. I'm so far in the black. Um, so yeah, so New York Comic Con was awesome. I mean, we saw Venom. We talked about it. We saw Wild Robot, which was great. I still say if
Yep.
you have kids,
Oh,
show
excellent
them Wild
movie.
Robot. Great.
Excellent movie.
We just saw Gladiator 2, and I know we did like an in the car review.
But we didn't really stream it. We didn't really
Yeah,
tell people.
we didn't share our
Yeah.
thoughts on it. Now that you've had time to sit and kind of stew on it, what are your thoughts on Gladiator?
I still think it was a decent movie. It was entertaining. But I feel like if you were comparing it not even to Gladiator, but to like things like Spartacus and other gladiator-esque shows and movies, I really felt like it's Gladiator light.
Mm,
I think the story and the action were sub to other things I've seen. Um, like the overall type, like what they're trying to do with the story and all the set pieces and everything, they look cool. It's like wrapping paper though, and what's
mm,
in it wasn't really as good as I hoped it would be.
yeah,
Um,
a lot of
not
dressing,
a
a lot of
strong
dressing.
successor to Maximus Decimus Meridius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and he will have his vengeance in this life or the next. There was no scene like that I will
Mm,
remember for
mm,
20 years. There's no scene like that.
that's fair.
And I think that's what it struggles with.
Mm, it's solid point. The question, how did Denzel do?
Mm,
Uh, I
kill,
think 2/3 of the movie, he was the best thing of the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
The back little bit, I feel was like they're like, well, like I don't know, man. It's you're building to this thing,
Mhm,
and then it felt like it just went and just it
mhm.
was just gone, just like that. Like it's a
Denzel
very
was stellar. He was
mm,
stellar, but like I think the was it the metaphor, the analogy I made in the car was he went from this like really good like Joker and Batman 2 like schemer to like in the back half he's like twirling his mustache. Yes, this is my master plan.
yeah,
So he kind of became a cartoon
yeah,
villain. It really felt like it. But I mean, Denzel was still amazing because
yeah,
Denzel is Denzel.
yeah,
Um, he went from carrying the movie on his shoulders to kicking it around on the ground towards the end,
yeah.
for lack of a better
Look,
word.
y-
Still, it's a good movie.
it's a good
It's
movie.
a good
It's not a
movie.
bad movie. It's a good
Yeah.
movie. I can say I enjoyed it for the most
Yes.
part.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
just it's like when you think about Gladiator, the movie, like you think iconic movie. And when I
Mhm.
think Gladiator 2, I don't think iconic. Good
I think
movie.
action movie. I
Yeah,
think action movie.
good movie. It's
Yeah.
very, uh eh, uh
Yeah. I will say there was no scene in that movie that moved me the way Gladiator 1 did.
yeah.
And that's where and I mean, again, I hate to compare it to the original because you know the sequel's never going to be as good as the first one. But I mean to go from something so heartfelt and like a villain who is so menacing to
Yeah.
just what they gave us in Gladiator 2, and it just felt like an action adventure movie. It didn't really feel like there's no impact. So, I hate to say it. As
You want to know
brutal
the
as some of the
funny
fight
thing?
sequences. Yeah.
They I was watching an interview, and so obviously there's the brothers that are
The emperors,
the
yeah.
villains of the thing,
Twin emperors.
Twin Emperors. It's so funny in the interview they were talking about kind of where they drew inspiration for their characters. Did you know one of the inspirations for those guys was Beavis and Butthead? They
That doesn't
literally said
surprise me.
the way they played it, they're like, yeah, there's some Beavis and Butthead in there, and I'm like,
I don't know if that's what you should aim for in Gladiator, though.
yeah, yeah. I was
I
like,
mean,
that's
if I'm watching SNL, yeah, that's hilarious,
yeah,
but Gladiator, Academy Award winning Gladiator, like
yeah.
I just
I don't think there'll be many awards coming out for this
no,
one.
not for this one. Maybe a best supporting nod to Denzel, but
Hmm.
even that I doubt highly. I've seen him do far better work.
The the other one that I was trying to think, what is the other thing? I know I saw something else. Red One. I saw Red One in
Mhm.
theaters a couple weeks ago, which, like most, I will say this about Red One: it was better than I was expecting.
Okay.
Still don't think it's a great movie. Like, I saw a commercial where they're like, might be the greatest Christmas movie of all time, and I'm like, what? I mean,
I've learned that if the press cycle is really trying to sell it to me, that it's probably really bad.
it
Like if
was.
people are like, "Give it a chance, guys," it's a bad movie.
And it's
You
it's got
know?
a great audience score. I want to say it's like 90% audience score. Because here's the thing, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
It's
maybe it's
very much,
entertaining.
if you took the Fast and the Furious and
Mhm.
you squeezed it through like a Christmas filter,
Mm.
boop, Red One pops right out.
So King's
It's
gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
absolutely, absolutely. I wouldn't be
King wants to see
surprised.
17 sequels.
Yes, I could. And honestly, there's parts of that movie where I was like, because they're really playing up the fact that like mythological things exist.
Yeah,
Santa, Krampus, and like the flaming, was it the headless horseman,
yeah.
and like all these things exist. So I'm like, I could totally see like a shared universe of movies where like fucking the East, dude, you want to go? Let's go
Nightmare Before Christmas.
multiversal, and they bring back The Rock as the Tooth Fairy from his other
Ugh.
movie, and it's a crossover Red One Santa
Oh
Tooth Fairy
God,
movie.
don't, please don't. I,
Billion
well,
dollars.
so the problem with that is that William Joyce already did that with his children's stories, where Santa Claus knows the Easter Bunny knows the sleeping guy, the Sandman, Jack Frost, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So they could, but it's like stealing from William Joyce. So
So yeah, I mean, look, it was fine. It was fine.
yeah,
Is
I
it
haven't watched it
like
yet. I have no desire
Fat
to see
Man
it.
movie? Dude, Fat Man, the movie with Mel Gibson, I enjoyed it. I know it was
Underrated.
supposed to be like,
Underrated.
yeah, underrated. That one and Violent Night with
Oh
John Harbour,
yes,
David Harbour,
yes,
David Harbour. Like,
yeah.
I love, like, take something that we all know and love and put a spin on it. And
Violent Night, Violent Night, and Fat Man take me back to the '80s when
mhm,
they'd make those Santa Claus violent films, and they were like super like
yeah,
terrible, but really surprisingly
yeah,
entertaining.
a little
And I
bad
think people
Santa.
forget that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, more actiony.
Yeah.
There was a
Um,
horror movie in the '80s where the elves were killing people and Santa had to come and get them or kill them and stop them. Oh, the '80s were wild, dude. So wild.
so much cocaine. So much cocaine.
So many drugs and bad ideas.
Yeah, I mean, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
What else? So yeah, we're doing giveaways all of December. Sorry, shameless plug again. Every episode, multiple times. I need to clear this place out.
Take it off
Um,
his hands.
take it off my hands. I'm clearing this place out because I don't know if I was gonna talk about this or announce it yet. I'm gonna make some changes.
Mm.
I'm mixing things up a bit. The show you know and love will not go anywhere. It's always gonna be the same. It's fine. But I was looking around the other day and I went, you know what? I've had this set up now for quite a while. It's
Yeah.
time to mix things up. So post holidays, we're not going to be around obviously the Christmas week and the New Year week, but
Hmm.
starting 2025 you're gonna notice a difference. I'm just gonna put it that way. You're gonna notice a difference. It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
It's gonna be
I'm very
great.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. But yeah, man, lots going on. We've got some really cool collaborations coming up, some really cool interviews coming up. Very, very, very excited. But yeah, like just everything's been clicking, man. Clicking,
Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah.
I was thinking of, oh man, there's so much so much is running
How
through
do you
my mind right now that
how do you
like,
just like funnel it, you know?
yeah, I'm trying to like filter it through my brain and make it come out as words. Obviously we're going to San Diego Comic-Con this coming year, which is it's the biggest, most it's the pinnacle. It's the thing
It's
that's been on
it's the
the,
Vegas.
oh man.
It's the Eiffel Tower of conventions.
Oh man. It's
I don't know if that's a good metaphor.
no, like it's the Everest, right? It's the
Yeah,
hill,
it's
it's the
the place.
mountain
Yeah,
we've been on a path climbing
yeah,
for years. Even before this show existed, that
yeah.
was
We've
on
always wanted
the,
to go.
yeah, that was on the hit list, you know, that was on the to-do list. So it's a monumentous occasion. It's huge. Scotty
Yeah.
Scotty says CQ's making PCW for a modern audience. CQ will now be CQette. Not yet. I'm not making the change yet. But
I don't think
no,
anybody wants to see that.
I think that would be a wonderful woman. I think.
I don't think
Um,
Jenny would like that.
no names. No.
Whoops.
Whoops. No, it's fine. Yeah. So there's a lot to look forward. Like there's certain things I can't talk about yet.
It's too soon. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's certain things that are like right around the corner that I'm, oh God, I can't wait. And then there's two things that if everything falls in place exactly, like perfectly, that first episode in 2025, it's gonna be pretty
It's gonna
cool.
be
Um,
fire.
fire. So
It's gonna be
lots to do, but a couple of news stories. Couple of news stories. Let's see then. You guys are funny. Sorry, I'm reading your comments. I don't know if do you have Apple TV? Do you have Apple TV Plus,
I
the
do.
streaming service?
I do.
There's some good stuff on there, man. There's some good
Yeah.
stuff on there,
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Silo and Severance,
Silo.
and
Yep.
there's a
Silo's
bunch of
on the
really good
list.
stuff. Wolves came out not too long ago. That's the movie John Watts directed. It's with Brad Pitt and George Clooney and a bunch of others.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. Again,
Okay.
not going to break the bank anywhere. Like, you know, he's not going to be whatever. But I thought it was a solid movie, and I felt like they really did well to kind of build this world that I could see future possibilities. So I was a little disappointed when I read that the sequel has been canceled.
Mhm.
And that initially Apple TV came out and said, yeah, we canceled it. And then, gotta love John Watts. John Watts is a great director. And also,
Yeah.
he's one of those guys that will say, he is not Hollywood in the sense of like
Yeah.
PR. He'll say his piece.
He's mad.
Yeah. And so he went on social media and he was basically like, they didn't cancel it. I said no, because he was pissed because Wolves was supposed to be a theatrical release. And Apple TV at the last minute pulled a little bait and switch and released it on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
And he was pissed about it. So
I mean, nobody wants to work with that. If you're not going to let it live to the potential that it could
Yeah.
live to, because first off, whether the story is crazy good or not, it's the fact that you got Brad Pitt and George Clooney back in a movie together since what? I think the last time was Oceans.
yeah.
I don't think they've done a movie together since Oceans. So you
Yeah.
got the two of them back together and you decide to put it on small screens. Sure, it's more accessible, but it's a lot less impactful.
Yeah.
And so Disney did the same thing with Scarlett Johansson. What did they do? They went to court. it ended amicably, supposedly, but think
Right.
about the hundreds of millions potential of profit they could have been made.
Hmm.
It doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
Well, and in her case, just to be clear, what they were really going to court over was the fact that in her contract, a lot of her incentives were
Was
based
residuals?
on box office numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't release to the box office. So they said,
So she
well,
got
we
almost
don't.
nothing.
Yeah, she got practically nothing on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
so that was a lot of
but
the
But
consternation.
again, if they decided at the last minute to not make it a theatrical release, then everyone was operating under the theatrical released mindset,
Sure.
including most likely Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, they could land themselves in the same circumstances Disney did with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
And again, maybe it's not about profit, maybe it's not about money, but now the movie is not up for any awards that could be given to theatrically released
Yeah.
movies. So
Yeah.
and maybe it's not one of those films, but it doesn't matter. It's the intent going in,
Yeah.
the contracts written before. It's bad business model,
I
you
agreed.
know.
Agreed.
Like if you're
Agreed.
going for Netflix, you're going for Netflix.
Yeah.
It's
But
different.
also, if you're being financed by Apple, there's not a lot of theatrical Apple movies. I feel like it's
But
like
I
doing a deal with the
mean,
devil and then being shocked when he pulls the wool over your eyes. It's
I
like,
mean, I feel like that's a good metaphor for all of Hollywood in general.
true, true.
Just you never know what you're gonna get, even though the contract says this, they'll
Yeah.
still find a way to get you.
So this is what he said. John Watts, the director, says, I showed Apple my final cut of Wolves early this year. They were extremely enthusiastic about it and immediately commissioned me to start writing a sequel. But their last minute shift from a promised wide release to a streaming release was a total surprise and made without any explanation or discussion. I wasn't even told about it until less than a week before they announced it to the world.
Yep.
I was completely shocked and asked them to please not include the news that I was writing a sequel. They ignored my request and announced it in their press release anyway,
Yeah, so it's
seemingly to
misleading.
create a positive spin to their streaming pivot. I didn't want to talk about it because I was proud of the film and didn't want to generate any unnecessary negative press. He went on to say that he returned the money he was given to write the sequel and he
Mhm.
pulled the plug on the sequel because he no longer trusted Apple as a creative partner.
Yeah. So that means Apple's going to go ahead and finance a sequel, and it's not going to be anywhere near as good as the first one. And then they're going to be mad. It's not. We can't make new projects because they're not profitable. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm.
They take good ideas, they run them into the ground, and then they're like, "See, we can't have good ideas." It's so tedious. And then they blame the viewers. They blame us. We're
Mhm.
the reason why the box offices are low. We're
Yeah.
not getting another Barbenheimer weekend. It's like make good movies and stop making stupid decisions, and maybe you'll see some more ticket sales come.
Yeah.
You know,
Speaking of ticket sales, I was curious. I was curious how Gladiator would do this weekend, especially going up against Wicked releasing this weekend. That would release this
hmm
weekend, right? Not last weekend. This weekend.
yeah, they were both released the same weekend because they were attempting to get another Barbenheimer weekend.
Yeah.
They they
So,
they hoped both of them would generate box office.
and I mean, there was a bump. There was a bump in the box office.
Yeah.
So, the weekend of November 22nd to 24th, this past weekend, we saw Wicked garner 112.5 million and Gladiator 2 55 million. With
Oof.
Red One still doing 13 million.
Wow.
Shit,
That's
even
surprising.
Venom still brought in 4 million too. Now that's all domestic numbers. That's all domestic.
Yes.
So we look at worldwide. Well, that's 2024. I don't want to see it by the year. That's not helpful at all. Uh, but I mean, it's still a lot of money. I mean,
I mean, it is, but it's nowhere near what their budgets look like.
yeah,
Nowhere near.
yeah,
So I'm actually surprised and disappointed Wicked didn't do better. I thought Wicked was excellent. I thought it was excellent. Um, judge it for whatever reasons you want to. I don't care. As far as cinematically, excellent movie.
sure.
Excellent movie. Singing was great. Ariana Grande.
Grande.
No, well, we say it wrong apparently. Um, my wife will tell you every time. Oh well, that's not how she says it. I don't care. Um, but she
Grenade?
absolutely captured Kristen Chenoweth's
Yeah.
Glinda. So like Kristen Chenoweth was the original actress who played in Wicked on Broadway, and we love her from all the things that she's done. But her attitude, her persona, Ariana like captured it. Like it, just like her quirks, the way she talked, everything. She
Yes.
really, really
The
did a
very like
wonderful job.
like that high
Yeah, yeah,
pitched
yeah.
talk. Yeah.
Yep. And
Um,
Cynthia Erivo's singing as Elphaba was just fucking sublime, dude. She can
I've heard good
sing
things.
her
I've heard
ass
very good
off.
things.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
honestly, I'm not a big, not even Wicked. I'm not a big this
Musical fan.
Well, no, some
Oh,
musicals are okay. I was thinking of Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Like I
Yeah,
never, I know like it's a
yeah.
huge
It's a classic.
property and it's a
Yeah,
classic.
it's a
And
classic.
I've seen it and I've seen interpretations of it and like I
Yeah.
saw was it Welcome to the what was it what the Wiz? Like I've seen
Oh,
all
The
the
Wiz is a
different. I know
classic.
I've seen all the. I
Love The
just
Wiz.
that story. I don't know.
So
It just never really connected for
OG
me.
OG Wizard of Oz. I've been watching it since I was a kid because it would always play on Thanksgiving week. So like on Thanksgiving, it would be Macy's Day Parade, Wizard of Oz, which is why it dropped this last weekend because they were trying to line it up with Thanksgiving because that's
Mhm.
for some reason in America we do the Wizard of Oz on Thanksgiving. Hated the James Franco movies of Wizard of Oz, whatever they were called.
Sure.
The Oz the Great and
Welcome to
Powerful,
Oz. Oh
terrible
yeah,
movies,
yeah, yeah,
terrible
yeah.
movies. Wiz, classic, love the Wiz. I mean, you got all the. Oh my God, I'm gonna go watch it now. I'm gonna go watch it this weekend.
Yeah.
But this one holds up
Yeah.
cinematically, just it visually. They're going to be up for awards for visual effects. They're going to be up for awards for costume design.
Sure. Music
I
and
don't know, music for sure, original score, I think, but again, because it was a play, I don't know if it counts.
mm,
Like because maybe the music was already written
yeah,
for
it's
the
not
play. I don't
original.
know. I don't know. Yeah, but how many remakes win awards? Like Lady
Yeah.
Gaga and what's
Screen.
his name? Bradley Cooper did
Yeah.
that one song has been remade 7 or 8 times and they got an Oscar award for it or something.
Yeah, a best screenplay or something like that.
Ugh.
No,
I
yeah.
don't know how remakes can get awards for being remade from something else.
Oh God, don't get me started on that. They just announced it like Game of the Year awards, and like
Mm,
two of them were DLCs. One was a remaster, and I'm like, how can you win Game of the Year when you're
yeah.
not a full game and or you're not a game from this year? Like
I
that
I
doesn't make
honestly
sense.
I honestly don't know what's up with the Game Awards nominations this year's, man. It's just wonky.
Yeah.
You want to get into the game side of things, let me know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
And Scott says, yeah, Scott Space Marine 2 didn't even make any of the
bro,
lists.
come
Yeah.
on. That
Yeah.
was easily a Game of the Year nomination.
I mean, it
Easily.
was, yeah,
How not?
that's,
You
yeah.
know?
Yep.
Shenanigans.
But going back to the movies, I was just
Yes.
curious. So if you had to guess, what are, I don't know, worldwide best movies of the year, right? Top
Ooh,
box office.
worldwide
Yeah.
for 24?
Yeah, for 24. No, we're at
Shit,
the
I
end of
don't
the
even
year.
remember. I don't even remember every movie that came out this year. Deadpool Wolverine has got to be up there.
It's up
Deadpool
there.
Wolverine has got
It's
to be
up
up
there.
there.
It's up there. It's not number one. It's not number one, which was
That doesn't surprise
a
me.
bit surprising. Yeah.
Did we have any Mission Impossibles this year?
No,
That
we
usually
didn't.
does pretty well globally.
No.
Yeah, honestly,
Be
this
surprising.
has been a pretty lackluster year.
And
It's been a pretty lackluster year.
only two movies. It was almost three, but only two
Mm,
movies crossed the 1 billion threshold this year.
mm.
Only two movies.
Was one of them Deadpool?
Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yeah,
1.3 billion worldwide.
yeah, I can see
Which,
that.
God
It's
damn.
got that worldwide appeal though,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
Marvel. Marvel's got the traction of, is this going to be the one that turns it all around because it's been shit since Endgame,
Yeah. God, that movie was so good.
Oh,
And then there's like
the
all the rumors.
Ghostbusters movie did not drop this year, and I don't think it was anywhere good enough to be on the top of the list.
No. No, you
Twisters
guys
was
are
also good, but I don't know that it. I
not.
don't even
Yeah,
think it got
it
a
was
wide release.
good. Yeah, it was good, but not worldwide record. Well,
Mm-mm.
here's the funny thing. If you compared U.S. numbers to
Yeah,
worldwide, the
yeah,
top three are the same.
yeah.
It's not until 4 and 5 that they switch.
It starts to switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so Tan, movies like Twisters don't do well overseas because they're centralized in places that are uniquely American, like
Hmm.
Oklahoma. Nobody in Japan wants to watch Oklahoma burn. Nobody. They don't care about Oklahoma. We love watching Godzilla destroy Japan, but I mean that's for other reasons. Um,
No, it's giving you
uh,
a hint of the top movies of the year.
oh, is it
We're-
Godzilla
It's
minus
one of
one?
them. One of them.
Godzilla minus one. Yeah.
Not -1 though.
Oh, really?
That's the funny thing. Yeah.
Ugh.
So
Was it
number
Empire?
5. Number 5 was Godzilla versus Kong: The New Empire,
The New
which
Empire. Yeah. Oh,
571.8 million worldwide. Uh, I think Godzilla -1 was way better, but was not one of the worldwide
way
releases.
better. Way better.
So number 4 was Dune Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
That
I
made
should have remembered that one.
714
I should
million.
have.
Yep.
I
Uh,
literally just watched Dune Prophecy last
yeah.
night, so I should have totally remembered Dune Part
it's
2.
it's
I
always
love
obvious
Dune
when
Part
you
2.
hear them and you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, duh.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I spent weeks talking about that
Yeah.
movie.
Surprisingly to me, because I feel like it came and went, Despicable Me 4 is the number 3 movie of the year at 900. That's what I said, almost a billion. 969.3 million
Because there's a lot
worldwide.
of fucking kids with really bad taste in movies. Despicable Me should have stopped at 3. It was good. It was good at 3.
I would
Just
argue
stop.
2, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely at 2. 2 is peak. 2 is like you're
Yeah.
you won both games, both
Yeah.
NFL finals or
Yeah.
whatever, and now you can just retire at 100%. But they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no, let's throw a couple more shots and see what
let's
happens.
wring out the money, because then they did
Just
the Minions movies and then all the other, then like Baby Grew and all. It's all
Rise of Gru.
Yeah.
Just
So
stop
number
it.
2 was Deadpool and Wolverine at 1.3 billion.
Naturally, yeah.
The number 1 movie, both domestically and worldwide, for 2024,
Impress me.
Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 made $1.7 billion worldwide. A movie about a little girl's emotions. Who would have thought?
So first off, talking about sequels that outdo originals.
Yes.
Yes. Second of all, the most accurate depiction of an anxiety attack I've ever seen done in cinema.
Yes.
And I've seen Oscar-winning actresses and actors do that shit, and they're good. They're Oscar winners, but
Yeah.
that was a very accurate description of what's going on in your brain. And I tinkled a tiny little bit watching that movie. Just a little bit. Just
yeah, I think especially too if you're a girl dad. If you're a girl dad, I'm sure
yes,
it
which I
hits
am.
you.
Which I am.
It hits you a
hard.
little harder than a boy dad like me.
And it's really amazing because my kid was Riley's age when the movie first came out. They were my oldest was the same age as Riley, and then when this second one came out, she was the same age as Riley. In the same at 13, doing those things, experiencing those changes and everything. So it was like talking about because you talk to your kids and it's like talking to a fucking wall, and then you see this accurate depiction of what's going on in their brain, and you're like, oh well, okay, maybe that's what they're going through. Do you want to talk about it now that you've seen it on screen? It was good. It was legitimate.
The only real difference was domestically. Number 4 was actually Beetlejuice. Made the 4th most, ahead of Dune Part 2, which surprised me by about 10 million domestically. Yeah,
more accessible, I think.
Well,
for some people probably view Dune as a little bit pretentious, almost like you're watching Oppenheimer. What's his name? Chris Nolan.
Yeah.
His movies are always like, oh, I'm so much smarter than you. So people are like, I don't want to go see this pretentious movie, Maybe they thought that about Dune too. I loved it. Your audio. I'm over here. I could be like screaming. Everybody can hear me, but it's like this guy can't hear me.
I don't know what's going on and
There
why
it
my
is.
mic's been doing that lately. I gotta figure that out. Anyway,
Yeah.
what I was gonna say was the reason I think Beetlejuice did better in the U.S. and less well abroad has more to do with, I think, the themes of it
Hmm.
are a lot less
Almost
culturally.
uniquely American.
Yeah, but also like you look at some cultures where like they don't fuck around with demons and ghosts and
Yeah.
goblins and like they're very
Yeah.
spiritual about it
Superstitious,
or
religious. Yep.
superstitious about it, religious
Yep.
about it. So I feel like that takes a big chunk out of the worldwide release.
Mhm.
When the whole movie's about death and ghost and demons and all that. Um, Spanky,
I saw Spanky said too. I laughed.
add coconut oil to the mic. Yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
slather that baby up.
Push all the buttons. Push all the buttons. Yes. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of my cables is loose or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Beetlejuice is just it's a uniquely American thing.
Yeah.
Tim Burton specifically very appeals to the states, not really so much to foreign, nations. I understand that he's a fucking weird dude. Um, and Beetlejuice 2 was good. It was good. It was entertaining. It was funny. It went on a like 30 minutes longer than it needed to though. It was incredibly long for what the content was. It was great seeing all those people back, but like Gladiator 2 and Gladiator 1, I did
it's
not
gonna
like it nearly
it's gonna
as
pale
much
in
as I liked it.
comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Michael Keaton, the OG, it was nice to see him back, but he has aged, man. He has.
It's
And I think
aged.
it was cool seeing him in that Flash movie, as bad as the Flash movie was, but it was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
it's, I think at some point this nostalgia shit that we keep going back because of it.
Yeah.
We're like, oh yeah, remember that? It was awesome. I love Michael Keaton as Batman. I love Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. Yeah, bring it back. And then I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah. It's hard
Yeah.
because the nostalgia berries, as they were, the member berries,
Member berries.
member berries. I remember. Uh, it's you're trying to recapture a feeling that you had at a certain point in your life, but you're not at that point in your life anymore. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not going to hit the same
yeah.
way, and it
We're
never
realizing it's
will.
the memories. It's the memories that we're chasing.
Yeah.
And you can't relive that thing anymore. It's
Yeah.
gone. It's lightning in a bottle, man. You can't do it more than once.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I mean, I think we'll figure that out. I think Hollywood will figure that out when the dollars start drying up and nostalgia just doesn't do it anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised if any day now they're like, hey, we're gonna reboot the MCU. Start with Iron Man 1 again. Like, I wouldn't be shocked at
I
all.
really hope they don't. I really hope they just keep going. Just keep going. Start the new Avengers. Do the
I
Secret
I
Avengers. Do
agree.
the Dark Avengers.
Young
And
Avengers,
hey,
West Coast
guess
Avengers.
what? Guess what? There's like 5,000 other teams you can choose from. It doesn't have to be the Avengers. We tried the Defenders on Netflix. That was excellent, as much as people hated some of it.
Yeah.
Like, I liked Iron Fist. You don't like Iron Fist? Then put him with Luke Cage and do Heroes for Hire.
Hmm.
And then it's not so lame because it's just a rich, boy, Danny Rand. Do a different character. There's so many Iron Fists.
Yep. And now with the
All I'm
multiverse,
saying
you can
is,
do whatever you want.
all I'm saying is, Disney, give me Cosmic Ghost Rider because I want to see Frank Castle tear assing through the universe. Please do that,
I
and
think
stop
we're a
making lame
ways.
shit in the meantime.
As much as I like Cosmic Ghost Rider, I think we're a ways away from that. We don't even have Ghost Rider in the MCU, actually.
Exactly.
Unless you count
But
Agents of Shield.
see, I think the problem is with most everything is they're so worried about a return on investment that they're afraid to tell good stories. They think they have to constantly rely on tropes
Uh-oh.
They have to constantly rely on guaranteed tricks that. What's up?
No, I thought we lost you there
Did
for
you
a
cut
second.
out?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm here. No, so like they're constantly doing that shit. The get rich quick schemes that Hollywood seems to think always work, and they never work. And then they're like, well, this is why we can't try new things. It's like, you didn't try something new. You did something old. You didn't like it because it didn't make you any money, and then you're blaming it on us. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, look at all the Disney live remakes they're coming out with. They look awesome. They look great. But what's bringing us in there really? Nostalgia.
Mm.
I saw
That's
I
yeah.
saw you saw the
The
Stitch
Lilo
tear
and
assing through
Stitch.
the
Yeah.
sand, just destroying the cat. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. It looks incredible, but it's just more of the same.
Yep.
You
It's
know,
more of those member berries.
it's those
Member?
member berries,
You
member
member?
economics, member
um,
Han Solo.
member. I remember. So speaking of Beetlejuice, though,
Yeah.
just for those, a few people were saying they were waiting for streaming. December 6th, you'll be able to stream it as a max subscriber on December 6th. So we are days away from being able to stream Beetlejuice in
Yep.
your home on your pre-certified whatever devices. The last story before we take a short break. I was, I got into this kick. I was looking at box office numbers and comparing things and whatever. And I saw some early opening projections for Craven the Hunter. And it's currently early estimates that it's opening domestically 20 to 25 million, which would be higher than Madam Web's opening, but still lower than Morbius's opening.
Madam Web. Well, see, Morbius, dude, I tried to watch Madam Web, and when I say I could not make it through it, not even with pharmaceutical assistance. I could not. My my 12-year-old was like, what is happening here? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Morbius got us before we were burned.
Yeah.
We were optimistic. We were like, okay, Venom is semi decent. Okay, Venom is semi decent.
Maybe there's
Maybe
something
Morbius will
here.
be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Sony's onto something. And nope. And then Madam Web, just dog shit movie. It potentially killed the careers of almost everybody in the film, except Dakota Johnson, who could just go back to smut if she needs to.
Is
She
Sydney Sweeney in
might.
that? She's doing all right.
No, I'm joking. I'm mostly being just seriously asinine. But Craven has potential only in that it's rated R. Hold on. If they are smart, and if they did what I think they did, was they're copying the Deadpool formula. They're going to make it to where it doesn't really matter who the character is. It's entertaining and violent, and they're relying on shock vector and that to pull you through. I'm not going to say it's a good story. I'm not going to say it's a good character. I'm not going to say anything. What I'm going to say is the action is going to be on point, and they're going to bring in characters who draw you in, like the Rhino. Why bring him? Why bring Rhino into there? They're both villains. They shouldn't clash in any way, shape, or form. They're both on the Sinister Six. Why would Rhino be, in this, unless he was a friend or something? And they're not friends because they're bad guys. I think what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to trap you in with these gimmicks. You're going to find it to be somewhat reasonable, and week 2, it's going to see an uptick of about 20 or 30 mil. I think that's
You're
what's going to happen.
predicting that it's going to go up in its second week?
Mm-hmm. If it's not completely dog shit terrible, it'll go up in its second week.
That's a big if.
It's a big if. It's a big if because Sony, I have no faith in them. I had zero faith. Like, people gave Morbius a chance. I knew Morbius was going to be ass long before it came out because I knew what they were doing with Carnage.
Mm.
And if they weren't willing to make Carnage a hard R episode of Venom, it was
Yeah, they
never
missed
going
out.
to be good. It was
They
never
missed
going
out
to
on
be
that.
good. Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
I don't
And
know how you make Craven a rated R movie before you make Venom a rated R movie.
like, what? Tell me you don't know the source material without telling me you don't know the source material.
Makes no sense. Makes
It makes
no
zero sense.
sense whatsoever.
Venom is literally going around chomping heads off of people, and you're like, PG-13.
Like, we can squeeze a couple dollars out of this.
You introduced the biggest mass murderer in comics history from the 90s, and you don't make it a hard R film? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Sony lost me a long time ago. I don't understand how they haven't lost the rights to Spider-Man yet. There should be a law that's like, you can't make this many terrible films and still attain the rights.
Oh man. Yeah. So yeah.
But then Disney might lose Star Wars with all the shit they've produced.
Yeah, it's oofa. I don't even know
I
what to say about that.
I love Marvel films. I love Star Wars films and stuff like that, but they really need to stop doing the bare minimum to tell a story and to try to fill seats, and they need to start taking risks, like real risks, not like changing one character from black to white or from white to black or from this color to that color, making it a
Yeah.
male or a female. Take bold risks. Introduce a love interest that's not a woman and don't kill them to progress the story. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Stop fridging them.
Yeah. Stop fridging
You
them.
know?
Oh, that's such a good comic reference. God damn.
Yes.
But all
Thank you,
right.
guys.
My guest is joined. He's in the green room, and the audience cannot see or hear you. So hang tight for a second, and we'll be right with you. But yeah, no, it's an excellent point you made, Nemo.
Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna toss it to a short break while I get us spun up for our wonderful interview that we've got planned for you guys. Nemo, are you gonna hang around after the break, or are you calling it a night?
That's a good question. I can hang around.
You're released, man. You're released.
All right.
I'm giving you the rest of the night off, man. All right, thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll catch up soon. You wanna say goodbye to the audience before we go to break?
Hey, remember Marvel Rivals comes out December 6th. We're gonna be streaming that on Weekend Co-ops. Stop in for our community raids on Saturday nights with the Valor Gaming community, and I'll see you guys on Saturday nights.
Yeah, Weekend Co-ops. Check it out, or on the next FTX. Hopefully, you can make it.
Oh yeah,
the next time we're gaming. All right, bud. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a short break. When we come back, we've got the creative masterminds behind 21 Bluff. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned right after this. See you in a minute. Shots.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, you there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, right? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, would you think because the show's going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. The force is strong. They have the high ground.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're back. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty, but what else is new? What else is new? You guys can see my lovely guests here. Because I didn't set up my cameras correctly. It's all right. Let's just jump straight into it. I'm going to read my wonderful... Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we've got two very, very special guests joining us tonight. We have the brilliant minds behind the exciting new card game, 21 Bluff. If you tuned into our live stream, FTX, last Friday, you would see that we were playing this awesome game. We enjoyed it. If you didn't catch it, then shame on you. But let's go ahead. Let's just dive into the fascinating journey into creating this innovative game. We'll talk about the experiences of bringing it to life. So without further ado, please welcome to the show, Spencer Carls and Jesse Schwartz. Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, raucous applause. Imagine you just gotta imagine raucous applause. Guys, thank you so much for being here and for doing this. It's 21 Bluff. I was literally going to show it to the camera, and then I realized I'm not on camera. You guys can see me, but they can't. But I'm holding it. I showed it earlier. 21 Bluff, awesome game. You have a copy, don't you? You have a copy.
I've got one. Yeah, I've got one.
There it is. There it is. The beautiful copy of the game. Of course. So first, we treat you like any other guest that we get on here. Obviously, we directors, actors, comedians, musicians, the whole artist, doesn't matter. But we like to get to know you ahead of what you're here to talk about. So first up, what, if any, is your guys' military connection?
Spen, you want to start off?
Yeah, so I'm based in Canada, Montreal. I don't really have any connection to the military, but I do respect everybody that's out there protecting the country, no matter where, how, when. And I do thank everybody for their services.
And unlike Spencer, I am an American. I was born and raised in New York. I kept moving south. I live in Florida now. I'm very happy to live in Florida. I didn't personally serve in the military. I love the military. My grandfather on my mom's side, he served in World War II in the U.S. military, and my dad's dad was in the Korean War.
Oh, wow.
So both grandpas served in the military. My dad did not, and I did not. But love the military, appreciate the military, and definitely support the U.S. military.
Outstanding. No, we appreciate that. Thank you, guys. So obviously we're a pop culture talk show. We talk about movies and TVs. You guys kind of came in as we were talking about, I think we were talking about Beetlejuice or whatever. But we talk about games, we talk about movies, all the things that we're passionate about. I know this is new to you guys. Like I said, I delve deep. I know that you guys aren't what they call them, like game magnets. You're not old game money. You don't come from the Monopoly family.
Unfortunately, no, that would be nice though. Yeah.
You guys are completely new at this, which is incredible, and one of the reasons why I want to talk to you, because it's so inspiring to just have this idea and do it. That being said, outside of this game now, like, what do you typically geek out about? Where's your pop culture flag flying these days?
Honestly, I would say I love to play video games. Like I'm a big video gamer. I love to play Warzone every night with my friends. We're always on playing, and it's addiction for me. I don't know what it is, but I love it. And for me, other than that, honestly, to be honest, every Sunday night I get together with my cousins and we play Catan. You know the board game Catan?
Oh yeah, Settlers of Catan. Yeah, man.
And we go at it with each other, and we always play for a punishment. So every time there's a loser, someone's got to do something, whether it's calling someone that I haven't spoken to in 10 years or just dumb things. But it makes it so much fun. But that's what I geek out about.
All right, Jess, what about you?
And for me, outside of 21 Bluff, so by trade, I'm a dentist. So that was kind of, unrelated to the gaming world. Again, it would be nice to be the Hasbro or Mattel heir, but I'm not at all. A dentist, so during the week, it's nonstop patients. At night, it's nonstop 21 Bluff with Spencer. We play this game actually a lot after hours. The beautiful thing, again, we'll get into 21 Bluff later, but you can actually play it over FaceTime. So we'll have a beer, we'll sit around and just shoot the shit and play some 21 Bluff at night. Aside from that, I like being active. Again, I live in Florida, so it's year-round nice weather, outdoor sports, golf, and on the Saturdays and Sundays now, it's just a lot of football. I came from a big, so shouting out my brother. My brother coaches for the 49ers. So I rep the 49ers on Sundays now. Yeah, he's the assistant tight end coach. So I rep them on Sundays. And on Saturdays, a lot of beach and relaxing and watching college football.
Wow.
Must be nice, hey Jesse? Must be nice.
Nice. I told you to move to Florida, man.
I'm busy shoveling my car in 3 feet of snow, but I'm sitting on the beach. Must be nice.
Let's pocket that playing it virtually, because I want to touch on that at some point, because I have thoughts and I have questions, but we'll get around to that. So now I did my homework, but again, we have an audience. They're unfamiliar with you guys. Not yet. You're not the household names yet. It's coming. Can you share a bit about your backgrounds? What led us to the eventuality of 21 Bluff?
Yeah, so it all happened about a year and 3 months ago now. Spencer came down to Florida to visit me for his birthday. and we had a nice day at the beach, and then afterwards we were about to go. We were going to go out, and I think that night we were going to the Hard Rock, and maybe to play because we both like playing blackjack. Not huge gamblers, but we just enjoy the action, enjoy the game. So beforehand, sitting in my apartment, we're having a couple drinks, and we're like, all right, let's just pass the time. Let's play some heads up blackjack. And we just started playing. But CQ, you've played blackjack before?
I'm very familiar. Yes.
And obviously, yeah. So in blackjack, the house always has the advantage. So we started playing for about 10 minutes, and we're like, all right, this kind of sucks because like we weren't playing for anything. We just started improvising rules and creating rules as we were going along. And we're like, all right, let's just take turns being the dealer, right? So he'll be the house, I'll be the house. So we're kind of even the playing field. And then we're like, all right, let's see what would happen if we just don't show each other's cards. And then we just started improvising and creating these rules where we were just starting doing side bets, and the rules to 21 Bluff kind of just came to us organically. And then we just kept tweaking it. And then we went to the Hard Rock that night. And we're sitting at the table, and we just keep talking about the game and the rules that we created like 3 hours prior. We're like, let's go back and play. So we left the Hard Rock, we went back and played. The next day we woke up and we played for 7 hours straight, right? Just tweaking more rules and realizing how it could be more fun and incorporating different betting rules and different styles. Some of our other games that we like. For example, there's like a little bit of poker. Again, we can get into that later with the pre-betting. And we just started incorporating all of our favorite rules and the most fun rules of all of our favorite games into our game, into 21 Bluff. And that was the genesis of kind of how it came to be.
Spencer, care to deny or confirm this story?
I can confirm. We also had a very miserable time at the Hard Rock, so it was nice to go back and play some 21 Bluff.
Gotcha. That's incredible to me. It seems so simple. It seems like such a I love gaming with the guys. We get together all the time, and so much we started a live stream of us just gaming, board gaming, and table gaming. And this idea of like, man, we love this thing so much, and I think we do it as well. So we'll argue about rules that I don't know if this is something that connects with you guys, but sure. Rules can sometimes seem a little vague. So we've had some heated exchanges, and then you have to kind of come up with your own rules. You have to come up, okay, well, in this situation, this is what this is what that is. So to think that something like that could, in theory, just spawn this whole new creation is incredible. I absolutely love what you guys did and how this came to be. Was there ever, I'm just curious, like early on, was it always going to be blackjack? Was it always going to be 21? Was there ever like, well, almost like, I'm trying to think, what's the game that mixes like poker, not Pokino, Jesus, no, Keno? Is that the one? I don't know. There's a lot of card games. But like, was there ever any other ideas of incorporating more or different kind of slant on it than just the blackjack?
I think it was mostly blackjack, and that's where we threw in the bluff, like the 21 Bluff was the poker aspect of the checking. You go, I go, you go. I'm staying, you're staying. Nobody sees the card. I'm laughing. I have a shit hand. I'm smiling. I have a great hand. So there's always that. What does he have? So that's where we kind of threw in the poker aspect. But it's really mostly. You know what? Have you ever played Baccarat?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So there's also that Baccarat aspect of where you're looking at your card, and when you can touch the cards, and you're flipping to see what you kind of had, and you see a 10 and you bust, and you're pissed off. You throw your cards, and so it kind of all formed together. So that's where we had the whole, throwing everything in a blender, and it was 21 poker, a little Baccarat, and threw it all in together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So blackjack was kind of the backbone through it. But one of the most fun things when we really knew we were onto something, it was more than just the game itself. So Spencer's a great poker face, right? And I couldn't tell in the game we created when, again, at the beginning, when you're doubling, Spencer's a lunatic. I've also seen him do this in a real casino where he's doubling on 12 and 13 and 14, like a real double. And we're using real money, and he's a lunatic. So then this other aspect to it where I'm like, all right, I have no idea. It's not even just heads up blackjack anymore. I have no idea what this guy's thinking. And now I'm trying to think about him, and that's where the poker comes in, right? Because I'm like, is he bluffing? What is he thinking right now? And I'm trying to read his face. I'm like, how confident are you, Spencer? Are you sitting on a 12 right now and trying to see if I can get a read on him? So
You'll never know.
21 was the backbone of it, but we threw in all of our favorite elements again. Like like poker and like the bluffing aspects of different games, which just make it fun. And it was the laughing, right? When all of a sudden then I would bust and I would pull, and then Spencer would be sitting there, and then he would double on a 15 and pull a 5 out of his ass, and I'd be like, "Come on, man!" Like, and then he would just dangle and throw his card in my face, and
Yeah.
that's the best part of it, is the laughter.
It's interesting. So, me and the guys are playing, and like any game, there's always a learning curve to it. It helps if you. So it's interesting because I played with 2 other guys. One who had a blackjack, understood the concept, has played it before. One who had never played. So it was interesting looking at that dichotomy of how one guy took to it and another guy had to kind of learn the basics of it. I would say, within 20, 30 minutes, we're going full speed. We are with the rules. Excuse me. It's interesting to me because as we're playing it, I can't imagine there's a lot of games that, include 4 different decks and you have the special cards and, all this. I have, oh God, you don't understand my brain right now. Cause there's so many things I want to ask you about, like why this rule over this rule. And, did you ever think about the way you could gamble back points, right? Like, oh, I got a point on the last one. Can I add that to the pot to risk it all and try to win points? I mean, God,
we played through a bunch of that, right? So Spencer came down a year ago, August, so about 15 months ago. And then we had a demo deck made. So then we kind of game played. Initially, we were just playing with a 52 card deck, right? Mm-hmm. And then we're like, we got to create a way to up the ante and make it a more high stakes game. Because then we're betting a little bit and having some fun. We were betting $1 a point, $2 a point, just to make it fun and a little bit competitive. And we're like, all right, we got to create power cards that will incentivize people to double more, split more, the auto bus card, the auto 21 card, all these fun cards that will add to it. So then we kind of game played it, right? And we just game played. We got demo decks made for about 3 months. We were on FaceTime every single night, just playing hours of our game, hours and hours and hours. And that's kind of how we worked through everything. And we're like, what do you think about this? Would this be cool? Would this rule be cool? And kind of like, okay, if there's a tie, should we carry it over to the next round? Would that be too confusing to remember? This, every single thing that you're kind of thinking of, this was hours of back and forth between Spencer and I. Were like, let's go through pros and cons of what do you think about making it an easy game without making it too confusing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, I've noticed the trend, especially with newer games, where it's this idea of here's the rules as we see them, but also if you want to throw in your own rules, right, your house rules, that's more encouraged as well. Do you guys kind of foresee that as something that will naturally grow from this game, or do you expect people to stay more within the confines of the rules as they're written?
I think the rules are pretty straightforward, guideline, whatever, but it's the same thing in any game. Everyone always tweaks their own thing. They do their own little, side thing or whatever. It's like Monopoly. Like if you land on Go, you collect $400, or if you don't, or so there's always people that will say different things, right? But there's that straightforward of this is how you play. If you want to tweak it, that's on you. But this is how we see it. And this is how we have the most fun with it. So if you want to make it even more fun, if you can, by all means, we're all here for it,
Right on, right on. And just to give, again, everybody at home should know how to play Blackjack 21, right? You get cards, you try to get to 21 without going over. I think by now it's pretty well established in the pop culture vein of life. You go see a movie. Oh, yeah. There's a great movie called 21, right? It's a movie. Yeah. Can you explain just very simply for the folks at home where the biggest differences in just kind of the structuring of the rules, right? So, I get 2 cards and versus how your guys' game 21 bluff works.
Sure. So in the casino, right, you're just going heads up against the dealer, right? But CQ, let's say you and I are playing heads up. It's essentially 2 separate rounds. So round 1 would be I draw my 2 cards, you draw your 2 cards. And for this one, let's say I'm the dealer, right? That first round of us just having the 2 cards, it's essentially like poker, the anteing phase, right? Where you're just kind of raise, check, raise, and I could say, CQ, I want to double. you have no idea what I have, right? So if you accept my double, now it's worth 2. But let's say you have a shit hand. You're like, you know what? I don't feel it. Doesn't matter what I have. You might concede, and then you concede a point to me. But right, and then let's say you're sitting on a 6-5. You're sitting on an 11, and I have a hand I want to double. I could double you, and you could say, you know what, Jesse, shove it. I also have a good hand. I'd like to double as well. So now it comes back to me where I can accept it, where it's now worth 4. Or if I concede, I'm like, you know what? I kind of like Spencer. Sometimes he doubles on a 14. He's like, you know what? CQ just called my bluff. I'm going to give you the 2 points. I don't want it. So that's the first part, right? Where you don't even know what cards I have. I don't know what you have. Whereas in blackjack, there's, I guess, a little bit with doubling beforehand, but the dealer can't really double you back, right? You're not playing against a live. The dealer only has a set motion of what they could do. They just do whatever they want. Soft 17, they have to hit, or hard 17 or above. You know what I mean? The dealer, there's no autonomy there, whereas everyone can make their own decisions here, which is what's fun. Once we get through that betting phase, then we get to the second part where then you could hit, stay. Again, and I'm reading your face the whole time because I'm seeing what cards you pulled. And sometimes if you pull a negative card, all of a sudden you're sitting there, CQ, with 5 or 6 cards. And I'm like, shit, what does he have right now, right? And you might only be sitting on 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? And that's where the fun part comes in. And if you start playing with multiple people, then it gets real fun because then it gets real high stakes. And then everyone's playing heads up against the dealer. So the dealer's playing 1v1v1, and that's when you can make a lot of points or win a lot of money if you're betting a little bit.
Depending how you're playing it,
Exactly.
I can recall we were playing, and I think at one point I had 6 cards in my hand, and I think it totaled like 7. Because I had like a 2, a 3, a 0, and I think I had a -2, and then like an auto whatever. So that was 1, and I'm just like, what the? I don't have so many cards, and I have 6 or 4.
But that's where it's crazy, CQ. So at that point, even if you have 7, then all of a sudden I'm looking at, let's say I have 3 cards and I stayed. I'm like, shit, he has 6 cards right now. I'm sitting on 14. I'm going to take a card, and then I bust, and then that's where the laughter comes in because sometimes you don't have to show your cards and be like that, or you just throw your cards down. I'm like, I took a card over nothing, right? And I'm trying to read your face, and that's where it gets fun. And you can trash talk a little bit. It's fun.
It's great. Spencer, you want to throw something in there?
No, I think Justin's covered it pretty good there. I did play over the weekend with a friend, and I did have the 12 cards in my hand too. And he's like, man, like, you must have gone over. I was like, I'll take one more. He goes, okay, it's enough already. You must have. Okay, one more. And he's sitting there confused, but it just makes the game so much fun. Like, you don't know what's going on. It's just a different kind of game to play with people. It really is. And like, the fact that we created on the fly and we brought it to life, it really speaks volumes of how much fun this game is. I've got really bad ADD, and for me to sit for 7 hours and play with Jesse, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We even brought it to the restaurant that night with us, and we're like, all right, I think we're on to something here. We couldn't put the game down. And this was the standard 52 card deck. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. ADHD over here. Totally. If it can hold my attention, that's incredible. I'm trying really hard to keep this a good interview and not go down the rabbit hole of like, we were arguing about this and this rule, and I need you guys to tell me how it was, because I could literally turn this into like, I want to be right about what we were, because there'd be situations of like, I know in the rules it says, if you bust, you have to announce it. You have to show, so you couldn't bust and then like keep drawing. But so that would come into play. There was, I know the auto split and auto double. It doesn't matter what cards you have to do it on the draw. But then one of the guys was like, well, what if I just want to split? Like, what if I draw a 2 and a 3 and I say, I want to split? Can I, whatever.
So we take that from real casino rules, right?
Exactly.
You can split if you have an ace, a 10-10. But if you have a 10 queen, even though they're both worth 10, no, it's like in a normal casino, you couldn't split up a 10 and a queen, right? So it's like normal. It's normal blackjack rules. Most of the rules we took. Most of the
He's
rules
right.
we took,
He's right.
He's right. CQ, you're right. Yeah, tell your friend he's 100%.
Oh, right now.
I'm clipping this. I am so clipping this and sending it to him.
Most of the rules that we took come right from the casino, right? Like I played with my mom the first time, and it took her about 2-3 minutes to wrap her head around. Okay, the double card doesn't mean that you're doubling the value of it. Doesn't mean that now we're betting $2. No, it just means you have to pull like in a normal casino. You want to double down, you get one more card. and that's
Yeah.
it. And it just
And I was as the aficionado who's played blackjack in the casino. I was trying to keep these guys on the track. Like one of them was like trying to. I think he was trying to split like 2 or 3 cards in. Like he had hit like 2 or 3 times. He was like, "Can I split now?" I'm like, "No, you can't split now. What's wrong with you?"
But he's not the only one. Let me tell you, I play with a few people, and they play blackjack. I'm like, man, like, what are you doing? Like, you can't do that. Like, you know how to play blackjack. Oh, I thought, no, man, it's the same thing as blackjack. Like, you got to follow the same guideline as it.
Yes, no, I love that.
But then they get it, and then here we go, play again. Let's go.
So to get back to the interview part, because I could do this all day where I ask you very specific questions about the way I played it. But what are
We're here for it.
Yeah.
This is just gonna be a gripe session about like losing to my friends. No, so the power cards, obviously they're unique to this game. I've never seen anything like it in that sense. What about it specifically that like you were really like when you hit that idea? Because I can only imagine when you hit that idea, like you're like, okay, it adds this to the gameplay. Like what was the determining factor, right? That like, oh, this will add X to the gameplay.
Yeah. So the power cards actually happened like perfectly. And I remember Spencer and I were going back and forth, and I'm like, I crunched the numbers quickly, and I was like, I think this worked out perfectly. There's 52 cards in a normal deck, right? We added 13 power cards. So now the total deck has 65. So 20%. So 13 out of 65 is 20%. So 1 out of every 5 cards is a power card, right? The math just worked out perfectly. And we wanted it to be, again, one where it's more banter back and forth, right? The most fun part is, CQ, I'd like to double. Even if I'm doubling an auto double 4 and my hand's not really that good, I have to look confidently, right? And then all of a sudden you look back at me, you're like, all right, how good is this double? And then we wanted to add stuff that raises the stakes, that increases the banter back and forth, and kind of makes it more competitive and more fun and increases the laughter. And that's really what it was all about. How can we make this game as much fun as possible? The most shit talking back and forth, the most fun, and raise the stakes. Spend anything, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we added the 0, -1, -2. I'll be honest with you. If we had -7s and 8s in there, I'm not very good at math. So it just wouldn't have worked perfectly. So we kind of cater to me a little bit. But other than that, like the power cards are phenomenal because it really gives you that extra, you double on a 10 and you pull a 0, you want to puke. But you got to act like you got a 10, you know what I mean? So it's like, or a -1, it's like man, like come on, like, and it just adds that extra oomph to the game.
Absolutely.
And the reason we did the negative cards were just like you were saying before. All of a sudden, you have 8 cards in your hand, and someone's like, "What does this man possibly have?" And you're sitting on like 8, or 7. Yeah.
And how many times in blackjack where you're like, "Oh man, I got 22, I got 23," and you're like, and it's like, but if you had that negative card, obviously prior to, because otherwise you'd be bust if you get after. But if you had it prior to, you go, oh shit. Well, with my -2, that 23 is now a 21. Boom. Hey, great.
Oh yeah. When you're at the casino, and you have a 7-6, you have 13. You're like, I wish it was like a -2 card. And then you pull the -2. You're like, oh, my 11's not that bad anymore. Yeah.
It's not that bad. Exactly. A couple questions from the audience. Scotty says, have you thought about making a college drinking edition of the game?
Spencer, you want to take this one?
So we definitely are doing something like that. It is in the works. And we're also going to be doing something virtually down the line. But as of now, we are just focusing on just getting this game out to everybody. But I can tell you, there's definitely a drinking game on its way.
Nice. Very nice.
But don't get me wrong. You can definitely take some shots and beers throughout this game. All for it.
Absolutely. That's where the house rules comes in.
That's where the betting comes in. You don't want to bet money? Okay, the loser has to shotgun 3 beers. You know what I mean? It's just,
3 beers. Whoa.
So a couple other questions. Is there a Facebook group? I'm assuming you guys have a social media presence, Facebook page and things like that for the game.
So we have a marketing agency out of Toronto that is running all our socials for us, and they are phenomenal. They're called Chisix, and I think we do have a Facebook, but it's not really active. But we do have an Instagram, which is at 21 Bluff. We do have a TikTok that's at 21 Bluff, and we do have a YouTube that's at 21 Bluff.
There you go. Go find those social media people.
Absolutely.
Is another question that came in is there a rule of some kind that allows a single/multiple card show to keep the other players guessing. So I'm guessing like having to show your cards or they having to show their cards kind of mechanic to it?
No, but sometimes though you can. It all depends on what you want to do. Again, this is where in the rules you don't show the other. I wouldn't show you CQ my hand. However, when Spencer and I play, and we've been playing a little bit, if I want to kind of get you into thinking I have something else, sometimes maybe I'll just show you that I have an ace. You know what I mean? I have an ace something. I could be sitting on an ace 4. You have no idea, but now in your mind you're like, oh shit, he has an ace. What does he have? So no, nothing officially where you show the cards or reveal the cards. But Spencer sometimes
Little sneak peek doesn't hurt.
Spencer will offer the sneak peek when I want to double him back, and he'll show me a face card, and I'm like, he's got a 10 something. What am I doubling into? That's where again the bluffing comes in and the shit talking comes in. No official rules, but make of it whatever you want.
I like that.
To get in the other person's head. Yeah.
I like that. And I'll just throw this out there. Like I was thinking about playing this game. I don't know why, but an idea came to me of, again, we were talking about like having your points and being able to bet them. So like almost like each player would start with 10 points, let's say, the goal to get to 21, but you could wager the points you have so you could lose points, as you go forward and whatnot. So I was like, I kind of want to make that into our own little house rules. So just to add a little more competitiveness to it, right? There's this consequence.
Sure. Oh,
losing points, not just not gaining points. But all right. So this is a game that is just as good one-on-one as it is 4 players. Now, I know the box says up to 4 players, but I'm assuming that's because you have 4 decks included, correct?
Correct.
So if you were to have 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets, you could have as many people as you want playing this.
Yeah, and
Correct.
at that point, though, once you get above 4 players, maybe you want to raise it instead of going to 21. You'd be like, okay, first one to 30 wins, right? Maybe. But sometimes we've played virtually before, and we played with 6 people, and it just becomes very high stakes, right? Where the dealer, all of a sudden, when you're the dealer, you can make a lot of points, or you can give out a lot of points every single round.
Do you guys? Yeah, I would totally. I think it would be awesome. Are there like YouTube videos of showing like very specific scenarios, like what happens if this happens, and then if you do this, and this is how it's counted, kind of thing?
Yeah, so there's definitely on our Instagram and YouTube, there's different clippets of if you have this, what you should do, or if you have this, or what beats this, or that. So there definitely is clippets out there to see it.
Perfect.
And if anyone ever wants to call Jesse or I, we're welcome to answer the phone anytime.
Yeah, if you want to give your phone number right now, I mean, we're happy to we're happy to put it out to. No, I'm just kidding. Another question came in. I guess this is kind of like the drinking thing, but it says, are there any booster sets coming that would have like additional actions or sub games to enhance the original concept?
Down the road, yes. Kind of piggyback on what Spencer said. Right now, again, we're still just trying to get the initial version of 21 Bluff out there, get people comfortable with it. But down the road, more than just maybe eventually getting it to casinos, getting it online. Right now, we're just focused on the 21 Bluff as it is right now. But down the road, 100%.
Yeah, because
about adding different power cards and
I've already seen people say about different power cards, other colors to the decks. So maybe selling like so I would buy a second set, but they wouldn't be the same 4 colors, right?
Always different colors.
Maybe a camo deck could be cool.
Oh my God! We do the military branches. There's an Army deck, Marine deck, Air Force deck. Yeah, man. We'll get together. Good. My people will call your people. We'll make it happen. Yeah. Oh my God, so many good questions are coming in all at once. Let's see, creators also. Sorry, our chat's funny. They said so. The creators are also customer support as well. That's good. I like that.
Anytime.
Whatever they want to
do. So okay, we've talked about conceptually the game, and so I'm having such a good time. Are you guys good to keep going? Because I'm
absolutely.
I'm good.
I told them I was like,
I have nothing else to do.
Play 21 Bluff, man. Obviously, we should break out. Oh my God, what if we broke out? Anyway, no, I'm not gonna get into that.
I got my deck there. We'll play after. We'll play at the end. We'll see how many.
We'll play at the end.
We'll see how many viewers drop off at the end. We'll watch the live version.
At that point, screw them. This is just us having a good time.
Absolutely.
So we talked about conceptually how we got to it. Let's talk more about the actual like development process. You know, from that conceptual, and we had the idea. You're getting it more to a solid. This is what we want to do. What was the process like? What steps did you have to go to actually bring this thing to market?
So after we were in Florida and we had this great idea, whatever, we brought it to a company called Playview out of Montreal, who does phenomenal in games. They do, they have the license for Minecraft, they have the license for Nerf, they've done puzzles. So we brought it to them, and they helped us really bring this to life, from the manufacturing part, from speaking with an outside company in San Diego that I don't know if you realize or saw, but the cards that we created are our own font. So nobody can copy that font. The king is having a beer, or the queen is having a martini, or the jack is having a cigar. And so we brought there, within 3 months, we had a demo deck. And from there, we just kept going and going, and really brought it to life. And for the box, I mean, you see how the box is, right? We didn't want to make it like a shit box where after 3 times of using it, you have to tape it closed or whatever. People really appreciate the good box. It's like a great keepsake box. You put it on your coffee table or as a centerpiece or something, and it's also a great showpiece.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm literally mesmerized now that you have me looking at the box. I'm mesmerized by looking at the box, and yeah, I couldn't put my finger on it, but yeah, it's a unique font that I've never seen somewhere else. Where you're like, oh, it has aspects of this and that, but it's definitely unique. I like that. It's really nice.
Yeah. So for the king, queen, and jack, we it's like little Easter eggs, right? Like nobody knows that the jack is having a cigar or a taco, but when you look at it, you're like, wow, like it's pretty cool. Like these creators are pretty fun. Like I'm with it. I'm for it.
There you go. What were because I'm in the mindset of somebody's out there and they have an idea, and but I'm just Joe Schmo. I can't create a game. What were the biggest challenges that you faced during that development, and how did you kind of overcome them?
Um, I would say the biggest hurdle that we had was making sure that the cards weren't shit, or making sure that everything worked out perfectly. Like if you bend the card, making sure, going back with the factory, that we wanted a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner, or we wanted to make sure that this was okay or this was okay. That was the only real hurdle that we had. Other than that, it was pretty easy, fun, exciting, and had a good time creating it together.
Yeah, and partnering with Playview was really beneficial for us because they're veterans in the gaming space, right? So again, by trade, I'm a dentist. So for me, it's I
And
didn't
by
know how
night,
to. By night, also, I'm still a dentist. Yeah, I do, as the listener said, I do customer support for my patients at night too. So, but yeah, Playview made it seamless for us, right? They're veterans in the gaming space who just helped us get connected with factories, and like Spencer said, it was game playing it, going through the right font, making sure everything looked aesthetically the way we wanted it to look to reflect the game, right? The game is fun, and we wanted the branding and the way that the game and the cards turned out to reflect our game
Yeah.
and to reflect the fun message.
And I'm curious, as much as we'd love, oh, it's an instant overnight success and everybody loves it. I'm sure there's gonna be that criticism that comes in, right? Like, oh, I didn't like it, or XYZ, doesn't work for me. You know, what's been some of the negative feedback you've gotten, and whether this was before the game came out and you used that to make the game better, or even since, where you're like, we didn't think about that, or whatnot. Just curious some of the
So,
negative feedback.
so the good news is overwhelmingly the feedback has been positive, right? Anyone we've introduced the game to or showed the game to has been like, wow, this is really fun. I would say the only criticism is kind of not even real criticism. It's kind of what you said, right? If someone's a complete novice to any card game, maybe the rule of splitting or doubling is a little bit confusing to them. But I use my mom as an example. My mom is not a card player at all, has never stepped foot in a casino, does not play blackjack. And within 10, 15 minutes, I explained to her the rule of doubling and splitting. And she messed up 2 or 3 times. But then once she got through it, She's like, okay. And then the first time I played with her, I beat her 21-18. It was a super competitive game against my mom, who does not know how to play blackjack.
Not nice, Jesse. Not nice.
No, I didn't take mom's money, but so that's the only negative criticism, right? Is that if somebody is a complete novice to card games and doesn't understand doubling or splitting, or maybe just needs to kind of take the time to actually go through the rules and just gameplay it a few times to get comfortable, that's been the only negative feedback we've gotten so far.
Yeah. Spencer, you feel the same?
I feel the exact same. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Although I would have let Jesse's mom win. That's all. That's the only negative thing I would say.
I said yeah, because by no means am I some type of review channel or anything like that, but typically on the Friday nights we get together, we play games. We also like to let the audience know, like, okay, we've wrapped it up, like, because they get to see us literally learn the game, actually play it to a point where we feel comfortable we're playing it correctly and competitively, and then we talk about it afterwards and like what was our pros and cons. And honestly, I mean, it's all recorded, so you can go back and watch the tape. The general consensus with everybody that played, even in the complete novices to the 21, was that it's a fun game to play, and that there's a bit of a learning curve, but I mean, any game you're learning from the beginning is a learning curve. And overall, like, it was enjoyable. It was a fun game to play. I can see, we were all saying, we can see where the more people that you have, the more hectic it can feel, the more pressure there can be, which ramps up kind of the enjoyment of it. But yeah, they're really, as far as cons go, there weren't, I think their biggest complaint was the guy that was reading the rules, was sometimes, I tend to read and mutter to myself where I'm like, they had no idea what I was saying. And I'm like, I read the rules. I know it. But no, it was a very fun game. It was a great time. We really enjoyed it. Let me just make sure that we didn't miss any other questions. Yeah, the audience does not like the fact that you are ruthless, that you wouldn't even let your mom win, by the way.
Sorry.
Terrible.
And we got a bunch of jokesters too, because he said, I bet this game is funner than getting teeth pulled. So there you go. There's your dentist joke.
I'm very gentle. Come down to Florida.
So we talked about, plans for expanding this kind of 21 Bluff universe. I would love to see a mobile version or video game version where, I can get together with the guys, we can play online, whether it's PC, whether it's console, whatever, or phone. That would be a lot of fun, I'm sure. I guess really to kind of wrap this up, what advice would you give now that you've gone through this process from idea to solidifying it into this thing, to bringing it to life and now promoting it? What advice would you give, the average Joe who maybe has this really great idea for a game?
I would say just keep grinding and keep going and don't give up. Even if, someone said it's shit or it's not going to work. If you really believe in something and you put your heart and soul into it and really want it to work, it'll work. Jesse and I, we're not card creators. We're not. And we sat there and we said, you know what? We've got something and we're going to run with it. And we ran quick. And here we are today, right? So I would say, really, like, if you really believe in something, then go full force, because anything's possible and everything is possible, right?
Jesse, anything?
I agree with everything that Spencer just said. And the other thing is, don't just stay in your lane, right? I was told a bunch of times, right? Stay in your lane. What are you doing creating a card game? By friends, family members? Oh, you're crazy. Blah, blah, blah. You're just a dentist, right? Or you're just this. I'm like, no, you could be this, but also have a creative passion and a creative outlet elsewhere. So don't let people tell you or dissuade you from doing something that you're passionate about and that you really believe in and love. It's been an absolute joy working with Spencer. He's one of my best friends. We have the best time doing this. It was creative. It was fun. It was a lot of back and forth. And follow your passion. If you're passionate about something, then you're going to enjoy the entire process. This entire process with Spencer, yeah, there's been a lot of long conversations and meetings, but overwhelmingly, it's been fun. And we've had a good time doing it, and doing business and making this game with Spencer has been a really fun ride so far, and excited to see where it goes.
Outstanding. Wiser words have never been spoken. Let's see. There's a couple of suggestions. from Captain Wayne out there. He said the game does look like fun. I watched CQ play it the other day. I would suggest adding blank cards that people could, I guess, at home Sharpie, some crazy
Make up their own rule.
Yeah, some crazy card, plus 57, minus 82, get crazy with it, and have to work their way out of that.
It'll definitely come out.
Like, why do you have 27 cards? That shouldn't be possible. I'm working my way out of the hole. The other one was, my God, I had a question here and I lost it. Oh man, I did lose it. All right, well, sorry, here it is. Found it. What was the time frame from the idea, the inception of the idea to actually, it's available for purchase?
All within 1 year. So it was August of, this was 2023, Spen?
Yeah.
Your birthday? So it was August 2023. Spencer came down. That was the night that we were going to the Hard Rock. We just created this game. Within 2 months after that, we had a demo deck made. I want to see if maybe I have the demo deck. It might be in the other room. Demo deck that was made from China. Created a few of the power cards, not all of them. And then by July, this past July, so within 11 months, we were live on Walmart.com and Amazon.com.
Yeah,
as well.
So this is no rinky-dink operation, ladies and gentlemen. You can get it from Walmart and Amazon. I mean, my goodness. And soon, I heard soon it should be in a lot more stores we're expecting.
Correct. So, yeah, it will.
we won't name names yet.
I don't know. Yeah, we don't know how much we're allowed to say with that. But yes, it will be in physical. It will be in physical locations, not just in online retail. In the very near future.
Not just in Canada, right? We get it here in the U.S. too.
No, we're worldwide.
Worldwide. Well, we're starting Western Hemisphere. We're starting in North America.
I was gonna say, no, we're very. There's one specific store you have to come to. It's very, very unique. It's very rare. But no, it's gonna be worldwide or continent-wide or however you want to put it. This has been absolutely awesome, man. I thank you guys so much for coming on. We really did have enjoy and have a really good time playing this. I'm gonna have to get your guys' information because I need to reach out when we settle disputes because I get into arguments.
Absolutely.
A bunch of vets get together and it comes down to blows sometimes. So we need somebody to
we'll be the mediator.
Up. Yes, exactly. Someone to say that I'm right as always. I would appreciate that. I would.
Like they said earlier, we wear many hats. We're co-founders. We're customer support. We wear many hats. So
outstanding. But thank you. I want to give you guys the last few seconds here. Promote the socials. Promote the thing. Where can people buy it? Final words. Say goodnight. All of that. Floor's yours.
So before I do promote it, I do want to ask you something. We want to donate and give away to the veterans or active people in the Army so if you have somewhere or somehow that we could give a couple 100 pieces and send it overseas or whatever bases that anyone's at, we would love for the troops and the people to really have it. And
I've got the perfect contact for you guys, Ted. We'll discuss it during the break. I've got the perfect thing for you.
Okay, awesome. So back to promoting. You can buy it at Walmart. You can buy it here.
Instagram at 21 Bluff, Walmart.com, Amazon.com, or for those Canadian, Amazon.ca, Walmart.ca. But through the .com, we're in America, so that's it. And thank you for your service. Thanks to all the military, the servicemen for their service. Also, we're truly.
And thanks for everyone for listening to us. I mean,
yeah.
We're
people are watching, man. People are watching, and I honestly I do. I love the game. I more than anything, I really love the story behind it. Believe it or not, I think it's so inspiring. For two white guys to really come up with to really to come up in this world and do. No, I'm just kidding. No, but two guys that aren't of gaming influence and have no idea really what they were doing, but to come up with this awesome product and really stand behind it. And I think it has miles to go. I think what do they say? It has legs. You know, this game really has legs. I can see myself in the guys playing it. I think too. I didn't even touch on it that you guys had like Isaiah Pacheco was promoting the game. I mean, how did that come about? How do you get football players to talk about the game?
Sven, you want to take it?
So we're actually very blessed that Jesse comes from a pretty big football family. His brother is the coach, one of the coaches for the 49ers. His dad happens to be a very, very good NFL agent. Some say great. And he really helped us with all these NFL players. You know, we went to training camps, we went to gyms, and every single one of them that we showed the game to loved it, played it. We had so many laughs with them. Some of them are a little bit, but they got it. You know, we were playing while they're lifting weights, and instead of doing sprints, they came to the side of the gym and played with us, and it just grew from there, right? Like, we didn't pay anybody, we didn't beg anybody. They naturally wanted to do it and help because they, I guess, believed in the game, right?
And
A lot of these guys in the locker room are playing dice or they're playing cards, dominoes. A lot of them have the
Spades,
game
yeah.
now in the locker room, and they're playing it and they love it.
That's awesome. Jesse, anything?
No, that's it. Everyone, this is one that a lot of the NFL guys we did it virtually, right? So I don't know how much we talked about that, but we're again with 21 Bluff right now. You have your deck, CQ. I have my deck. We could play heads up 21 Bluff right now, and we could play it over FaceTime. Have a beer, relax, and just. So a lot of these NFL guys, we introduced them to the game, not just in person, but also some of them sent them games. I said, hey, let's get on FaceTime for 10 minutes. And the next thing you know, that 10 minutes turned into an hour and a half of just playing 21 Bluff back and forth. So it was cool. It was really cool to get the feedback. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I love it. One of the things, I'll end with this. One of the things we were talking about, we do this live stream. It's awesome. We're getting together. Sometimes there's 3 of us, sometimes there's 6 of us, and we're just playing these games and the audience is watching. And I thought, man, there's got to be a way that I can, add another camera and basically have like a virtual player here with us. Like set up a camera and I'll we'll set up their cards that only they can see it or whatever. But talking about the way this game is built, it's almost perfect for something like that, where they have their own deck and they can play along as well.
Oh yeah, you don't need to show them like their cards, because that would be annoying, right? To be like, hey, these are your 2 cards. No, as long as they have their own deck, and again,
they just got to show their cards, and we're cheaters, a bunch of cheaters.
A little bit of the honor system has to come in,
Integrity.
It's like golf. It's like golf.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So cheat every chance I get. Got it. I already get accused for cheating as it is. Guys, this has been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this great game. It will continue in the rotation on Friday nights. We rotate games every couple of episodes, but this is definitely one that I think we'll come back to. The company was so nice. You guys, you sent us 2 copies, so I'm going to keep one for rotation, and we're going to give one away to an audience member. Next month, we're doing a bunch of giveaways for the holidays, so that'll be one of the prizes that someone can win at home, their own very copy of 21 Bluff. So thank you guys for that. And
thank you.
And yeah, man, if in the future, more parts come out or more we get that military edition, man, hit us up, man. We'll run it back, and I'd love to have you guys on again.
Incredible. Awesome. Thank you for having us. This is great.
We're gonna toss to a break, and I'm gonna say goodbye to my guests. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more show right after this. Shots.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
That was very fun.
Hey, you there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, right? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, would you think because the show is going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. The force is strong. They have the high ground.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. That was a whole lot of fun. Like, part of me feels kind of bad, but also I had such a good time because, like, I talked to these guys, before we went on live, and I was like, I really like the game, but I'm sure there's not much we can really talk about, and like we'll keep it, 20 minutes tops, and we talked pretty much an hour. These guys, they were awesome. They're two really, really good guys. 21 Bluff is a great game. Now that I'm back on camera, I can show you 21 Bluff. It's a really, again, and I'm not saying this because I'm a shill and they sent it to me for free and blah, 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 blah. We had a good time. We really enjoyed it. This is what it looks like here. I'll take out the instruction manuals. So you get, and they did design the box really well. But you get 4 colored decks, the pad to keep scores, a little pencil, and 2 little dealer buttons. It's really cool. And in fact, I think I just saw it like on Amazon. I think it was on sale, like Black Friday sale. So I think you can get it for like $15 on Amazon if you look right now. So by all means, go out and get yourself a copy of 21 Bluff. Also, this is the sealed copy. I have my open copy over there. But we will be sending this out to one lucky viewer this coming month, December, in the month of giveaways. So stay tuned for that. I want to thank Spencer and Jesse for coming on and just talking and just being 2 cool dudes, man. Just really, God, I love this show. I love this show because I just get to meet the coolest people. Oh, so much fun. And they had such high praises for me. I mean, it's easy for me to say now that they're not here, but, they were like, oh, this is the best show we've ever been on. Yeah. What can I say? You guys know that I love more than anything just celebrating all things pop culture and just having a good time. And yeah, it's a love. It's a passion project. It's a passion love thing. It's all the best. It's all the best. Closing out all my apps that I'm not using. Yes, they were stroking my ego. Yes. Oh, man. Yes. Scott wants to know thoughts on the Game Awards. Oh, man. We touched on it a little bit earlier. Hang on a second. Let me see Game Awards. Because when I saw earlier, I was just like, what is happening? Let's see. Pull it up. It is loading super slowly. But yeah. Okay, December 12th, the Game Awards at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. Let's see, vote now. View all categories. So let's see, Game of the Year. Whew. Good night. So you've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is just a remake of a game from like 400 years ago. You have Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, which is basically a DLC. I mean, Balatro, which I've heard a lot about to the point where I almost want to go in and play. It's been a disappointing year for games, really. Best game direction are the same 5 games. I feel like there should be a thing where you can't be in multiple categories. Give other games a chance. Best narrative. Again, Final Fantasy VII. Senua's Saga, which I played. I liked the first one better. The second one was okay, but I felt like this first one was I think the first one was a much harder game, and I feel like they really toned it down. So. And then Silent Hill 2. Oh, why does that name sound familiar? I feel like I've played that game 20 years ago. Scott says there's a couple of things I'm disappointed with. A fan vote being 10% and the judges panel being weird and not really being game relevant. Yeah. So true. Let's see. Best art direction. Practically the same 5 games. Apparently only 5 games came out this year. Because I keep seeing Astrobot, I keep seeing Final Fantasy, I keep seeing Metaphor, I keep seeing Silent Hill 2. Best audio design, Call of Duty. Best audio design. You say so. Best performance. No, that's what's up. You got Brianna White for Final Fantasy, Hannah Tell for Life is Strange, Humberly Gonzalez for Star Wars Outlaws, Luke Roberts for Silent Hill 2, and Melina Jurgens for Senua's Blade Help. Where is fuck, what's it? Alan Wake? Where's Alan Wake 2? That should have won something. That game was phenomenal. Phenomenal. What are your thoughts on Black Myth Wukong? So that is a PlayStation exclusive. I don't have a PlayStation, but I've watched a ton of gameplay on it. It looks incredible. It's an incredible game. The controllers seem really reactive and snappy, and it looks really well done. I like a good fighting game. So something like, let's say, like a God of War, where it is a lot of button mashing, but at the same time, it's a really compelling narrative, a compelling story, and you want to be better. And I feel like that it brings a lot to that. Games for impact, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Ugh. Let's skip right over that. Best ongoing. Awarded to a game for outstanding development for ongoing content that evolves player experience over time. Helldivers 2 is on there. What about the car game? I forgot the name. I heard it was good. Well, which car game? Oh, Cat. Cat game. Yeah, it's like Stray. Was it Stray? Because I know Stray was one cat game, and then I think there was another one as well, which I heard a lot of good things about. So one of them was a PlayStation exclusive, I want to say. Best community support. I don't know about that. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. No Man's Sky's on that list. My God. I guess they got to get something right, I guess. Best independent game. Balatro's on there. I haven't even heard of these other games, but I've heard a lot about Balatro. Best debut indie game. Best mobile game. Balatro's on there as well. I didn't even know Balatro was a mobile game. But it was only on console. I guess that makes sense. Pokemon trading card game Pocket. Oh, man. Best VR game. And I've seen a ton of promotions for the Batman Arkham Shadow, but I've seen nothing for the others. But again, that just goes to how much money the company has that they can spend on marketing. Oh, well, there you go. There's your Warhammer Space Marine 2 best action game. For the best game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat. You got Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Well, there you go. I mean, they were recognized for something at least. Best action adventure, Star Wars Outlaws. I heard that got just bombed in the reviews. Legend of Zelda will win that because Legend of Zelda always wins everything. Anything it's up for, it wins. Best RPG. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy. It's the same games over and over and over and over again. Best fighting game, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. A lot of good stuff about that. Multiverses. Who plays Multiverses? I tell you, man, I don't know what they're smoking to get these. Best family game. Yeah. Best sim/strategy game. Ooh. None of these. You know what? I'll straight up. You know what game I was playing a lot recently was Gas Station Simulator. It's fun. I was just messing with people on there. That was a lot of fun. Was Dragon Age the Fall Guard in anything? I didn't see Dragon Age. No, I haven't seen Dragon Age. Best sports and racing has got F1 24. EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K25. How did college football not get? The college football game was ridiculous, coming out of nowhere to be. I'm still playing it. In fact, I'm gonna log off this and go play a college football game. WWE 2K24. It was good. I played it. It's good. Oh, my best game of the year. Best multiplayer. Hey, there's Warhammer again. Helldivers 2, Black Ops 6, Tekken. I don't know, man. I don't know. Best adaptation? Oh, so this is for something that adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. So Arcane for the Netflix show, Fallout for the Amazon show, Knuckles for the Paramount show, Like a Dragon Yakuza for that Amazon show, and The Legend of Lara Croft for that Netflix cartoon. Fallout wins that hands down, handedly. Most anticipated game: Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Grand Theft Auto 6. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been the most anticipated game for the last 12 years running, so that's gonna win. Most over anticipated game probably. Content Creator of the Year. Wait, where's my picture? I guess they didn't get my picture in. The Haunted Chocolatier might be good. At least Stardew Valley finally got that 1.6 update on all platforms. Yeah, man, for sure. Best esports game. Esports. Maybe I'm getting old. Best esports athlete. I'll give you $1 billion. You can name one esports athlete. These guys. Best esports team. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just jealous. You guys play video games for a career. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Game of the year. Whatever. Anywho, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. I'm going to get those guys hooked up with a veteran organization that provides gaming to different different bases, different organizations, things like that. But I'll definitely get them linked out because that'd be awesome to get some of the military guys to play 21 Bluff. I think it'd be cool. Alrighty. Well then, I think we've come to that end of the night point. Guys, this will be the final show of the week because everybody's taking Thanksgiving off. So I want to thank you. I want to share my thankfulness. Thank you for being here, for watching this show, for commenting, for listening, for engaging, for sharing. You guys mean everything. You guys are the best. I appreciate you so much. I'm thankful. What am I thankful for? Yeah, but put it in the chat, man. What are you thankful for this year? I am thankful for this opportunity to get to share my nerdiness with you all and to get to go and do these things that I never thought would be possible. Going to San Diego Comic-Con next year. Never in a million years did I think I would be invited as a press, as a content creator, whatever you want to call it, to do this, man. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I can't. Scott, I love it. I'm thankful we have Mad Mike to cover down when CQ wants to call it in. I appreciate that. I am thankful for that as well. Real talk. Okay, let's take a minute and do real talk, okay? So, coming off of New York Comic-Con, I was so wiped out. I had been pushing myself so hard, obviously mostly for this show and mostly for the content, things like that. But there's other things in my life that was going on, and I just been pushing myself so hard and absolutely, Billy, thank you. Thankful for a bearded first of all, 9.25, 9.25. Don't forget. Thankful for a bearded 9-finger dude giving me an outlet for my nerdiness. Thank you. It means the world to me. and for waking up. Yes, Captain Wayne. Every day we wake up is a beautiful day. Um, uh, no, so real talk. I'd been going so hard for just a while, and especially the lead up to run up to New York Comic Con, and then like it was 4 days of like you don't understand, like filming nonstop, interviews. Um, when I got back, I was just burnt out. I was absolutely burnt out. And truth be told, these past few weeks where I haven't been here, I mean we have been doing stuff. Like we went to Gladiator 2, we went to Venom, we went to Red One, all these things. But the truth is, had I not been invited to those things, uh I would have probably taken some time off. I would have probably taken a couple shows off. I was just so burnt out. I'd been going so hard that I was just not like, oh my God, I'm over it. Just I was spent. I had, I really like to give energy and I like to engage and do these things. And um, so this is mental health, just awareness, knowing your own mental state. Coming off of that, I noticed that something was wrong because usually, like after a big convention like New York Comic Con, it takes me a couple days to just regain my energy. But after like 4 or 5 days, I was noticing, because we had came back on that Sunday, and then I think we had like Venom. We went to see Venom, so I wasn't gonna do the show, and then Mike and them said, and Angry Self said they would cover, and I was like, oh, that's great, cool. That gives me more time to recover, and I was noticing that like I didn't have the usual drive that I do. So I run our social medias. I run when you see clips from the show, I do that. When you see posts about the show and post about random, what do you think is this? I do all that. So if you noticed, if you follow us on social media, the last 2 or 3 weeks, barely any posting, no clips, not really doing interviews. And then on the backside that you wouldn't see, like I haven't been sending out emails. I'm always sending out emails for different collaborations, for different, trying to get guests on, trying to promote the show, do these different things. I do guest spots on other podcasts and other shows to just drum up business. I haven't done anything. It had been like post New York Comic Con, it had been like 2 or 3 weeks where I just didn't do anything. I didn't post on social media. I didn't do clips. I didn't do nothing. And I was struggling because I wanted to. Mentally, I wanted to. Like, I love this show. I love doing what I do. And I kind of hit like a wall. Um, and yeah, it was weird, man. Like, it's not necessarily like depression, but very similar in that, like, I felt stuck. I felt like I couldn't take the first step to get back into the rhythm. And I talked about it. I talked about it with some people close to me, and I talked to Mad Mike and some other friends close to me, and just shared what I was going through. And the resounding thing was like, okay, give yourself a chance to get your feet under you. And when we talk about being thankful, I'm so thankful that I had Mad Mike and Angry Elf to fill in, because truth be told, yes, I was at these movies and doing these things. Had that not been there, I would have taken that time off and there would have been no shows. And so talk about being grateful and thankful to have these guys to be able to step in and do a show. I know it's not exactly the same, it looks different, it feels different, it's different energies, whatever. But the fact that they were here to do that, I'm eternally grateful for them, for stepping in when I just needed some time to get my feet back under me. So yeah, so that's me speaking from the heart. I know CQ is this character that is egomaniac, big-headed, whatever. But I am a person, and I kind of hit a wall, and I'm okay. Nothing's wrong. Like, I have a great support system, and I'm very lucky. I have a wonderful wife and kid and good friends. And I just, man, it was weird. It was a weird feeling because I wanted to do things. I wanted to do shows. I wanted to record content. I wanted to post on social medias and keep up with the stuff. And just, just putting it out there for people that maybe feel the same way sometimes. I just needed a Scott, CQ the person versus CQ the character. Both cheat at games. Yes, that's true. Billy, sometimes you got to do what's good for you. Everyone else can wait. We love you, brother. Oh, thank you so much. Captain Wayne, it's great if you can take a break sometimes. Nobody is invincible. Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. And, it's a weird spiral too. I think anybody that's ever had like those dark feelings where you go, oh, if I don't do this, I'm letting people down. And now I'm letting people down, which makes me feel worse. And then because I feel worse, I'm letting people down. And because it's this weird spiral of like you're going down this deep, dark hole. And luckily, like I said, I wasn't depressed in the sense that like I was moping around. I was living my life. I was spending time with my kid and spending time with my wife, and we were doing stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I can't put it into words. All I know is that it took a little while, but now you see I'm posting back on social media again. We're doing interviews. We're getting content together. We're making plans for next year for upcoming conventions and things. Plans for San Diego Comic-Con are coming up. Like I said, I think I said at the beginning of the show, things are going to look a little different. So I'm going to hint at. I'm motivated now, and so during the holiday break, so the last 2 weeks of the year, Christmas through New Year, there will be no show, and I'm gonna make some changes. So the show's gonna look a little bit different, nothing crazy, but it will definitely look different. And I want to make new merch. I'm just going on a fucking tangent now. Sometimes a plate can only hold so much. Damn, that is so true. But I want to make new merch, which, by the way, if anybody has ideas, I'm always open to feedback, segment ideas, merch ideas, whatever. I'm always open to, I love keeping this show fresh. I feel like that's part of the magic of, I have super ADHD. So like if I'm not super excited about something, it's very hard to move forward, as you can see with these past couple weeks. So I'm very excited to make some changes and to do some things. I have new hat designs that are coming in finally. It feels like it's been forever since we decided on that stuff. But I have new merch ideas. Yeah, there's a bunch of really cool stuff coming down the pipe. Just I gotta be patient, and we have some other cool gaming opportunities. So obviously we have the guys from 21 Bluff today, but there's some other games, some indie games and new games that want to come on, like FTX, and promote their stuff, and so we're very excited about that. But all that to say, thank you guys. This has been my therapy session, my unwinding. But very excited for the month of December. Lots of giveaways. Please, God, take all my things. I have a giant pile back there and giant pile over there. I just have so much to give away. So please tune in, win, and give me your address so I can send you stuff. But yeah, thank you to Nemo for hanging out with us the first hour. I told Mike and Angry Elf, I was like, man, take some time for you and the family. You guys have covered me for damn near a month. So I appreciate y'all. And we'll be back at it next Tuesday. We're going to hit it hard. Scott says, I don't know how many gamers are in your chat. Maybe do a tournament like that college football game with a giveaway prize. We'll do some type of gaming tournament. Could do. The tough thing is finding a game that everybody has access to. So it's easier to do it if it's like free games. So something like you can go online and download, like, I don't know what it is. What was the free game that the Fall Guys or something like that? That's a free game that you can make a big lobby in, that you can play in. That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool to do maybe I'll talk to Nemo about doing like a Fall Guys tournament thing where, because it's, I think you can have you start out with 100 people and then it narrows down and final winners and things like that. But, or something, or do I'd love to do like a fucking, Family Feud or something like that. That'd be cool to do like a version of Family. I gotta find like there's like an editable version of Family Feud to do like a WTF Nation Radio Family Feud style thing and come up with the questions and answers and things like that. But yeah, anywho's it's lots more cool stuff in store. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. I am super thankful for you guys. I hope you have an awesome Thanksgiving. And I look forward to seeing you guys first week in December, man. We got some big things coming. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Shots.